kind of almost see you. I miss being with you guys a lot, but it's cool that we can share this Good Friday together. Kind of feels like we're in hiding, don't you think? Like we're hiding from the outside. We're in our houses, kind of like a spy, and you're kind of in a safe house hiding away. And speaking of hiding, I have a little game for you. Let me read this sign. How many do you see? We're going to do an egg hunt here. Look at all these bunnies and things on the bed and tell me, how many Easter eggs can you find? Did you figure it out? I have 5 eggs here. So if you guessed 5 or found 5, you found them all. Congratulations. And there are a few other things that are hidden here. Can you find a coin? Look at all the bunnies. If you see it down here, you're right. How about, now this one's going to be easy, a mask. Anybody would be able to see it right here, right? How about somewhere here, there's a tiny pink heart. Do you see it? Exactly, over here by the lamb. And those 3 things are going to help us. These guys are going to help us learn about some people who are very important in the story today. Today is Good Friday. And a lot of us already know why we celebrate that day. Why is it? Exactly. It's because that's the day that Jesus died on the cross. And we take this special weekend every year to celebrate that awesome thing that he did for us, right? So all week long, Pastor Sarah has been talking to you about one thing, and that is humility. And humility is putting others first by giving up what you think you deserve, right? We're going to say, put others first. So put others first. Can you do that with me? Put others first. Exactly. And I read somewhere, someone who spends his life taking care of others shows humility. So that kind of explains what we're talking about, right? Putting others first instead of ourselves and always looking for what we want. So on a Wednesday, you guys saw a video that kind of started the Easter story. Jesus was with his friends, his disciples. They had a meal together in Jerusalem. They had all kinds of awesome things that went on that we celebrate on Palm Sunday, where people shouting and singing and worshiping him. After the meal, Jesus knew something bad was going to happen. So he asked his friends to go out and pray with him. And that's the video that you guys saw. But they weren't very good friends. What happened? That's right. They kept falling asleep all the time. Jesus had to come back time after time after time, but they fell asleep over and over again. Which brings us to our first very important person in this story. Now, the first guy has this coin. And if you know the story really well, you might figure out who this person is. You're going to tell me if they showed humility or not, okay? He has a whole bag of coins, actually, because this bunny is Judas. So Judas, even though he was one of Jesus' really good friends, he made a deal with people that didn't like Jesus very much. He made a deal with Jesus' enemies. And the deal was they were going to give him 30 pieces of silver. That's what I have in this bag. All of that money. But in order to get this money, he had to tell them where Jesus was and how they could find him. And they went to find him so they could arrest him and take him away. So Judas, did he put others first or himself first? He put himself first. Judas did not show humility. He betrayed his friend so he could have some money. That brings us to our second important person. Our second important person is wearing this mask. Now, he's wearing a mask because he's hiding, talking about hiding Easter eggs and all the things that we might do this weekend. This guy is hiding away. And this guy wearing the mask is also one of Jesus' friends. It's Peter. After Jesus was arrested and taken away, Peter followed him. While he was following behind from way, way back, He was listening to everything, watching what Jesus was, and Jesus was having horrible things done to him. Peter watching the whole time, and 3 times people came up to him and said, hey, you, I think, didn't I see you with this guy up here, this Jesus guy? I saw you with him when he was out doing stuff in the street, when he was talking. And aren't you one of his friends? 3 times. Peter says, no way, I never saw the guy. I don't know what you're talking about. 3 times he denied he even knew Jesus. Now, does that sound like someone who puts others first? No, Peter wasn't showing humility. Peter betrayed his friend because he was afraid. So that brings us to our 3rd important person. And that person, I shouldn't say person, that Stuffy here is wearing the heart. And where was the heart? That's right, it was this little lamb over here. This little lamb, who do you think this reminds us of? Probably the most important person in this whole story. That's right. This little lamb with the heart represents Jesus. Jesus, our 3rd important person in this story. Jesus didn't defend himself when people made up lies about him. Jesus didn't fight. He didn't fight back when people were beating him, when people were doing nasty things to him. Even when they took him to the cross and they put nails through his hands and through his feet, must have hurt so badly. And he was God, so he could have made it all stop just like that. But he didn't. He didn't fight them. He stayed there. He was nailed to the cross even when he had a thief beside him who really was a criminal. He even helped that guy while he was dying himself on the cross. He stayed there and he did all of that because he loved us so much. And he knew it wasn't punishment for something he did. It was punishment for things we would do. Does that sound like somebody who spends their life taking care of other people and who puts others first? It sure does. Jesus is the best example of humility of anyone who ever lived or tried to be humble. He was the true example. We remember Jesus turning the world all upside down by what he did through that whole season, really, through Easter that we celebrate, because he did everything he did just for us, because he loves us so much, you and me. That's right. Jesus always put others first. Our verse today says, don't do anything only to get ahead. Don't do it because you're proud. Instead, be humble. Value others more than yourself. Don't do anything only to get ahead. Like Judas, like Peter. Don't do it because you're proud. Instead, be humble. Value others more than yourself. Just like Jesus, Jesus turned the world upside down. He always showed humility, and he always put others first. You guys have a great Easter weekend, and hopefully we'll see you before too long. Bye-bye.